What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Please do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive, guys. We got to take a look at a couple things within XRP, right? We got two major closures here. We got the bi-weekly close and also the weekly close, guys. So now we always talk about in this channel about the regarding the pullbacks that we get, right, when we get these macro closures, or really any closure in that sense, right? So take a look at this, right? This is our prior bi-weekly bar, and what happens here is when we close this bar, we typically come back to visit its 50% of the range, right? So in this case, the 50% of this range from this bar would be located right about here, right around that 235-ish area, which matches the top side of this candle right here, guys. Now, the weekly time frame also has its own range to be considered, right? This is the weekly candle here, but not the best looking candle in the world, right? It could bring a little bit of confusion too. Uptrend here looking like a hanging man, right? But also if you're looking at it from a different perspective, this is kind of a downtrend here, maybe looking like a little bit of a hammer candle, right? But nonetheless, let's just go ahead and measure the 50% of this bar anyway, right? The 50% of that bar is landing somewhere at around the areas of around 223. I understand that that's kind of a bit low, right? But there are a couple things that can indicate a potential stop to that price action from getting down that low. Okay, you guys. So number one, we actually have this range right up in that 235 area that we were just talking about, right? So as soon as price action starts to revert back down right into that 235 zone, that could be an area for us to actually experience a bounce from. If we experience a bounce that's strong enough, right, that's gonna signal here that the bulls may be in control and still are able to maintain the upper bounds of that 235 zone. Now there is an extra area that we need to put down too, right? So that would make it right below in here, right? So that's going to be your 230 zone, right? We've always been looking at that here. We've been touching that support here over and over and over. Now that would be the reason here, that 230 area. I'm thinking that that's the reason here to stop price action from reaching into the 223, 224s, right? So let's look at that 229.87 into that top bound of about 235.18 ish, right? Let's make sure that we can hold ourselves within those bounds there, right, guys? And this typically happens, right? This typically happens whenever we do get a closure of a candle, right? There is a 60 to 70% probability that we're going to get a pullback of that prior bar. In this case, we just got that close on that bar, right? So now we're expecting here a potential pullback, even on that bi-weekly time frame as well. Okay, you guys. So same situation here with the bi-weekly time frame. This is that prior bi-weekly bar here, consistent to its 50%. That looks like an area that we can consider bouncing from to continue towards that upside. Now, the reason I can say that, guys, is because take a look at the new closure here as far as volatility versus momentum, right? This is your volatility in linear versus your momentum here, guys. This thing is pivoted straight to the upside here, and it is not slowing down, right? Now, we're outside of every resistance bound that this indicator had, right? Just go ahead and take a look at this right over here, right? Resistance here, and we're actually just about to clear this area right here. Next zone would be that 74.71. Of course, we got another little area here, and I'm sorry, the next zone to experience support from would be this area right in here, right? That 74.71 to about 75.54. That's where I'm thinking here that we can actually bounce from and continue towards that upside. It is a bi-weekly time frame, very unlikely for it to reach here in the immediate short-term time frame, but still, we could actually have that happen. If that happens, guys, that's going to be your 223 target. But I think that the 235 and 239s are pretty strong here, guys. Historically speaking, the bi-weekly time frame could run all the way up to the areas of about 84%, and we're only sitting just at about 81% right now, guys. So this thing is completely pivoted towards that upside and absolutely still has range to go. Okay, you guys. The reason why we can tell that it can still continue is because of the volatility indicator telling us that we are still very much expanding, and we are now within that critical expansion zone. Okay, you guys. So as long as we are expanding, that means that a lot of people are actually buying the asset. Why would they be buying? Well, that's because of this right here. The bias on the stochastic momentum indicator is indicating upside even still. Now, if we have a brand new open here, this is where we start talking about some interesting targets, right? If we have a new open from this bi-weekly bar, right? We just opened it here. This can give us an ATR range. So if the bi-weekly time frame has that upside pivot, that means that the monthly time frame would also have it, right? So here you go. We have an upside pivot, and we are expanding towards it as well. The thing here is that this one is over in 15 days, but it's not the only one that's over, right? We already kind of dropped down to the 50% of that monthly bar. That's pretty good to know. The bi-monthly time frame as well, that also has 15 days to close. Lots of range within that bi-monthly bar. Nonetheless, I do believe that this still has an upside pivot. Historical, massive pumps to the upside here, right? As you can tell here, just one quick little note. I want you to observe this, okay, you guys? I'm going to get rid of all the drawings here and just leave these two things up, right? I need you to pay attention here. Very, very close attention. Notice this. The volatility component on the XRP asset 1 month time frame has never been this deep in contraction in its entire history. And now the explosion that we're getting from this has also never happened before in its entire history. Not here, not here, not here, nowhere, guys. Look at this. This is massive contraction. Typically speaking, when we contract this hard and that long, these are all months. Every single candle here is a month long, right? The price action can typically face a pretty strong explosion, and that's kind of what we're doing here. Bi-monthly time frame, check it out. Huge contraction level here, massive explosive upside price action, and this is about to break out from a trend line regression here. And that can be seen like this right here. Guys, we are about to pierce through this area here and continue towards that upside. This is pretty damn powerful, okay, you guys? The quarterly chart also experiencing a massive upside pivot here and massive expansion. Guys, this is not done by any means. I am telling you right now that there is price action to observe for the shorter time frame here, and that price action can lead towards a massive upside. Now, the biweekly time frame is giving us that upside pivot, right? So if we do experience the upside continuation, we're looking at about 27 cents of upside from that biweekly, which can exceed or can continue into the monthly. But right now, we're talking about the biweekly. So from the open of this bar, we're looking at around 244, right? Just about 245-ish. That would put us to 27 cents above since we just got that opening. So that means, guys, that we are on our way here to around the targets of about $2.68, which would lead us right about here. Okay, you guys, so this can happen over the next couple days, over the next few days here. So just heads up, as I do expect price action to maybe consider coming back right down here into this area of about 235.18 to 229.87 to experience a little bit of a bounce here and then continue towards that upside. Okay, you guys, heads up on this. Guys, I want to make sure to tell you that the beginner's mentorship already ended and we're going to begin the new one here in just about a week or two. The enrollment is going to close soon, okay? Make sure to get in touch with me on ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com, right, as soon as possible so you can get enrolled, or else you're going to miss the seats, right? Everybody's going to take them and enrollment is going to close here, okay? You guys, ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com. Make sure to make that New Year's resolution the right one, okay? You guys, thank you so much for participating here. Know that I love you very much, and also consider reaching out to me as soon as humanly possible, okay, you guys? So let's go ahead and meet up on that next one. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as it cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Ever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well. A very, very good rest of your night and or day. And I promise I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.